Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films, back with another review for you guys from the Warner Archive collection. I know I've been kind of slacking on my reviews. I actually forgot I even had this one still to watch with all the chaos in the world, all the madness going on. I just kind of completely forgot about this one, but finally checked it out just the other day, so I want to get this review out for you guys. Appreciate you guys, checking out the videos, the last couple of videos I did for Vinegar Syndrome and everything, I know I haven't been, like I said, doing a lot of reviews lately. It's been like 3 weeks since my last one. But like I said, with just everything going on and working so much, it's just not been on my mind as much. But I do want to get back to this and focus more on doing things like this for you guys and for myself too. I just enjoy doing these. So yeah, the reviews will start coming again, and I will have a update here soon of collection update, especially so I can get the Vinegar Syndrome titles in their protective cases and kind of get everything put away that's sitting out for the next update. So if you guys haven't seen, they did announce Rad for Vinegar Syndrome, so I know a lot of people were anticipating that one. I know this doesn't relate to this video I'm doing right now. I apologize, but I just want to get that out there because I know a lot of people were anticipating that release. We knew it was coming, we just didn't know who was going to release it. So if you haven't done it already, definitely head over there and get that shit pre-ordered. But yeah, Warner Archive, I guess they're still not taking orders right now in the midst of all the stuff with the virus and everything. So hopefully they're back up and running soon. I'm not exactly sure when they're going to start shipping again, but they had the 4 for $44 sale going, and then they just stopped taking orders. So those that were lucky enough to grab something during that sale before they stopped, good for you. And speaking of the 4 for $44 sale, this one is one I would probably wait for that one. I'll start with that. This is, of course, by the title and thumbnail. This is the Fearless Vampire Killers, or Pardon Me, But Your Teeth Are in My Neck. This is from 1966 or 67, depending on what you go by. It says 66 on here, it says 67 on IMDb. Here's the inside as well. This film stars Jack McGowan. I'll just go with that. Sharon Tate, Alfie Bass, and directed and stars Roman Polanski, however you say his name. I always screw it up. Polanski. I'm not going to go into a whole lot with the director and everything. I know I've mentioned it before. Of course, there's things that he was, put away for or whatever that occurred back in the day and everything like that. So I'm not going to go into detail. Of course, Sharon Tate, taken out by the members of the Manson family back in the day as well. They kind of touched on that and rewrote history and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so definitely brought her popularity back. And man, I will say she is absolutely just gorgeous in this movie. I think this is the only movie I've actually seen her in. I know she didn't do a whole lot of films, but yeah, she was this wow. So yeah, let's move into the synopsis here. It's basically Alfred, and I'll just call him the professor because that's what he really goes by in this, set out on a journey to track down a vampire and take him out. That's really the basic synopsis of this film. So they start off traveling. They reach this inn, I guess, this really nice bed and breakfast. And the innkeeper, I believe that's who Alfie Bass is. There's some things that go on there. It wasn't really grabbing my attention in the scenes in the inn, except for the bath scenes with Sharon Tate. That definitely caught my attention. You do see a little bit of something, but it's kind of weird that based on what I've read about Sharon Tate and everything, that there wasn't any real nudity in this film. I don't know if that's the thing that Roman I always have a hard time with his name, Polanski didn't want other people seeing her, or what the case was. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this whole situation, so I'm not going to speculate or anything. But, I know she was involved in, like, orgies and stuff like that back in the day. She wasn't really faithful to him, things like that from my understanding. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird that you don't see her, like that in the film. But anyway, so they stay at this inn for a little bit. They're kind of asking around if there's any castles nearby. Of course, the village idiot, as he's said in the credits, starts to tell them, yeah, and, they're all trying to hide it. They're all trying to hush him and everything, and they're trying to act like nothing's going on, even though there's, like, garlic hanging from the ceiling and all this kind of stuff, and they just pretend like they know absolutely nothing about this castle a ways away, where the Count lives, played by Ferdy Mayne. I believe is how you say his name. I'm not 100% sure on that either. But anyway, so yeah, I had a little bit of a struggle with the whole inn part. Once they leave the inn and proceed to the castle, it definitely got a lot better for me, even though you do have the guy in the inn always trying to sneak a peek at Sharon Tate's character. I believe her name was Sarah, and trying to once you see what his wife looks like that he's sleeping next to, you definitely see why he's after this. But you do have that going on. A couple of those scenes are kind of funny, but I know back in this time, I'm sure it would have been a lot more comedic to people than it was to me. I didn't find anything really hilariously funny or anything, but this is from the 60s, so I don't know. So once they leave this inn and journey to the castle, like I say, things pick up a little bit. They encounter the Count and his son as well, who's kind of on the preferring men's side more than women. So you do have some comedic moments there between him and Alfred, Roman Polanski's character. You just start to learn a little bit about, the vampire, of course, what we all know with the garlic, not seeing their reflection in the mirror type stuff, things of that nature. And later on in the film, too, you have a scene where the professor wants Alfred to take them out once they realize that they are, in fact, vampires and everything, once they see that they don't have reflections and all this. Wants to take them out. The professor gets stuck in this wall that they're sneaking through. Of course, Alfred can't do it. Can't take him out. He doesn't have it in him to do so. And I will say the caskets in this film, especially one of them, I remember when he took the lid off of the casket, you could see like it caving in, like how like they're made out of foam or some shit. And but it's the 60s, so whatever. The effects weren't terrible, I guess. But there is a scene too, before I get any further into it. Towards the end of the time where they're at the inn, you do have the Count comes down and bites Sharon Tate, Sarah, on the neck while she's bathing, and takes her away to this castle. So they're, at this castle. She's there. They don't know she's there, though. He kind of hears her, Alfred kind of hears her singing and everything and finds her there. He doesn't know, that she's been bitten and all this kind of stuff. And, he's still just trying to get with her. So eventually you get to a point where more people come up from the graves, kind of like zombie vampires, I'll say. They have this big ball that happens, and that's when they realize all of these people are dead. They are vampires. And they realize that they are not vampires. When they're doing this big dance number, and there's this big mirror, and all you see is them and not the vampires. So they're chasing them around, doing all kinds of stuff. I'll say they're like bumbling idiots. Alfred's not so much, but the professor seems to be a little bit more of a quirky kind of guy. I really like the actor that played him too, and I kind of looked him up on IMDb, and he didn't live very long either, and he didn't really do a whole lot. But I really liked him in this movie. Between him and the Ferdy Mayne, I think he did great as the main vampire. We'll just say Dracula. And he was in some other cult films too. I think he was in like Night Train to Terror and Conan, like one of the Conans, some other stuff. But if you look him up on his IMDb page, you'll see like he's done a lot of like cult films, and probably the best actor in this film for sure. But yeah, that's really all that goes on. I mean, there's other scenes where they get kind of trapped and they have to escape. I'm not going to say how they escape. I don't want to give everything away. I feel like this is a film a lot of people haven't seen, so definitely want to leave some things unsaid. But yeah, for the most part, this movie got like a 7 point something on IMDb, and I'm not really sure why. Some people might find it more comedic than I did. I would say rent this one first, or if anything, get it during one of the sales. I wouldn't suggest paying full price for this if you have not seen it. One of my least favorite films that I've gotten from Warner Archive. I just kind of went out on a whim on this one, and it definitely sounded more intriguing than I felt like it was. But you do have a couple features on here. Vintage making of featurette, which I don't remember actually seeing that one. I'm going to have to throw the disc back in and see. I watched the Vampires 101, which is like a 5-10 minute little segment, which was kind of entertaining, but I don't remember seeing the making of featurette on there. I definitely would have watched it. So I'm going to have to throw this back in definitely and make sure it was actually on there, because I love behind the scenes stuff, especially for older films. I find it more fascinating. Transfer looked really great. Audio video quality, as always, from Warner Archive was excellent. I know I kind of skimmed through this synopsis real quick, but there's not a whole lot to this movie. It's a whole lot of kind of, like I said, bumbling around, I'll say, and kind of being chased and things like that. Alfred's character always, hitting on Sarah, and him kind of getting slapped away from her and everything. But like I said, I mean, if I would watch this movie back in the 60s, I'm sure I would have had a hell of a time with it. But, doing a vampire spoof movie on older vampire films, I don't know, maybe I relate more to like a scary movie type situation. I do love spoof movies. I love comedies and everything, not just horror. So, like I said, I'd recommend renting this one first, for sure. Or, streaming it, however you stream your movies, I guess. So, yeah, let me know if you guys have seen The Fearless Vampire Killers, what you think of it. Try not to leave comments of the whole, like, Roman Polanski situation or anything, because I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it's sad that we lost her at such a young age. I think she would have went on to be an incredible actress, and like I said, just absolutely gorgeous in this film. If nothing else, it's worth owning just for her scenes, especially the bath time scenes. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this review, guys. It does have a twist ending there at the end. Of course, the ending is always at the end, I guess. But, I'll say twist ending, but not, anything unexpected. Yeah. So, again, let me know if you guys have seen this movie, what you guys think of it, what your thoughts are on Sharon Tate. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, if she would have, lived a lot longer, if, what she would have done for film and everything. But, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, peace, love, happiness to everybody. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.